Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great day today. We are just inching along this week, taking what the market has given us, being patient. This is a great time in the market to learn and to develop the skills that we're going to need, because, right now, what you are to be, you're now becoming. All the work that you're putting in, the videos you're watching, classes that you're going through, everything that you're doing at this time in your life is preparing you for who you want to be. See, we all come from different backgrounds, different states, different countries around the globe. We're all different ages. We're at all different stages in our lives. But we're all connected by one common goal, and that's to succeed in trading. And this summer offers us the perfect time to prepare ourselves for the opportunities that trading has in store for us. And yeah, you got to be prepared for it, because if you're not, it can come and you're not ready and you just may miss it. You may not be at a point to do anything the next time it comes around. Last week I was in the post office mailing something, and the passport line is adjacent to the line that we're standing in to send off our packages and stuff. And there was this young lady who, she was a college student, and she was telling the guy how, she had worked hard to try to put herself in a position to go and study overseas this summer. And early on in the year, she was told she wasn't chosen, but she continued to work hard and continued to put herself in that position. And, somebody washed out and they let her know that, hey, there's a spot, if you're ready to go. And, she was real happy. She was upbeat. But in reality, she wasn't ready. She didn't have a passport. And they were leaving in like a week, or maybe less than a week. And when the guy told her there was no way she could get her passport in time, all of that excitement, and it just went. You could just feel the air just sucked out of her chest. And she started crying, hysterically. And they had to call security or somebody to come help her. It was sad. My heart was breaking for her. But there was nothing anybody could do. And it's like all this hard work. And even though she was told that she couldn't do it, she kept working and got the opportunity, but she wasn't fully ready. And it made me think about a lot of us that, we may be in the same boat. We're putting in the work, but it's not focused. It's not focused to help us get to where we want to be. And what we are to be, if what we are to be, we're now becoming, we have to make sure that we are doing the right things, that we're making the right moves. We just have to focus our efforts. Because in the end, it's all up to us whether we make it or not. And we have to pick a spot, and we have to believe in ourselves. And so let's work this summer. Let's continue to work. The market has changed. We're adapting. We're putting ourselves in a position to continue to grow our account. And, that's what I want to continue to do to help you guys out. All right, so let's take a look at trade from yesterday. Okay, yesterday was a red day. And it all started the first trade of the morning. It was on TIF, and I really forced this I didn't feel like I forced it at first, but the market threw me the most beautiful bait, and it was hidden. I mean, the hook was hidden. I couldn't see the hook. So just like that largemouth bass coming out of the water to nail that lure, I did it. And as soon as I bit down, I felt that hook, I knew I was done. You know, if you were in chat yesterday morning, you knew as soon as that happened, I was like, that was the best bait the market has ever given me. And I took it. I knew I was in trouble. I knew it. And I had my hand ready to click the button and get out. And the thing popped on me and double how much I was down. I mean, I was right at the spot where I was going to get out. I had pretty much realized that, hey, we're making a higher low here. We've made a higher high. It's time for me to get out. And then pop. And that was it. So ended up taking, I was trying to get, only get a $50 loss here. I was giving it 50 cents on my 100 shares. But it just popped from 50 cents to $1. And that was all she wrote. So that's how my morning started. And, it's something that we do. With the opening range trade, you can get in two different ways. You can wait for the next candle to close below the range, or you can get in as the candle breaks the range low. And the way this was washing, I felt a lot of weakness here, and I felt we could get in on the break. That's what I did. It didn't work this time. I mean, I could do this every time, and 6 out of 10 times it will work. But, it just didn't work today. And I should have been a little bit more careful. But, it is what it is. So, accepted that, and we moved on to the next deal. And LOW was the next trade I took. This was a long trade. And yeah, I was kind of behind on this. I couldn't trade this to the long side because it put in this huge candle and I wanted it to pull back a little bit more. It never did. So, I ended up getting it over here. Still, it would have been an opening range break, but it was a little bit too late for that. So I was getting it off the bounce here, off the 9, and ended up taking profit here. And I was still feeling the effects of the TIF trade and got frustrated and took it off here for no reason. Didn't even make a lower low on this pullback, and I just took it off. And eventually this did run up and get closer to my target here. 95 was my final target. It hit it over here. I'd have been out before it did, but I still could have managed this and picked up a little bit more profit had I been a little bit more patient. But this is just a product of, me still trading with the effects of that first trade. That was stinging still a little bit. INTC was just dumb. Accident is what it was. I've got this gaming mouse that every time it's got buttons all over the damn thing, and when I slid it, I move it around, and if I accidentally hit the keyboard with the mouse and the arrow is pointed on the buy or sell, it's gonna put me in a position, and that's exactly what happened. I was watching this. I was watching it under this 54.36. I wasn't ready to get in yet, but it put me in, and I gave it, some room to work, but it didn't work. Ended up getting out, only a $44 loss. I kept it tight, because I knew this thing was done, and once we got through all of this, I knew it was over. and got out of that. But this is something that I really could have done without. But, you know, it's something. I'm still using the mouse, so I got to accept responsibility for it. But that's what happened here. This wasn't even a legit trade. CTRP, this is one I got in. I thought we were selling off. I thought we had gotten through this, but we kind of traded sideways here, popped up. I had to stop out. It hit my max loss stop, and I had to stop out. Even though it worked eventually, it did hit my max loss stop. But I turned around and got back in, got a little bit better entry, and this pop here didn't take me out. And so we ended up working. Got my first target. I was hoping we'd get to the 100 period, and then the 200 would be my final. It just didn't make it. Turned around on me, and I ended up getting out. And then later on in the day, we were getting a late day fade. I got in. At this point, I was looking for it to fade this and come on down to the 200. But we kind of bounced here and pulled all the way back. My finger was on the trigger here, because had we made, established a higher high, I would have been out. But this candle opened and immediately started selling. And so I just held on to it, set my targets, and then went to go get my son. And, well, I had to go get his medicine is what I did. And just took it. And it worked out pretty good. I just hit the targets, and, we were done. But still ended up red on the day. 85, 65. Not bad. We managed the losses, had a couple of good trades. But, this right here was just 2 loose trades. This was a mistake. This was just a little bit too loose. I let it get a little bit too far. And cost me another about 50 bucks on this. So that was my day yesterday. All right, so let me answer this question before we get to the trades from today. I get the question multiple times a week. Why am I doing it? Why am I trading a small account the way I'm doing it? Why am I sharing it? I could trade my other account. I could trade my main account and, still do the same thing. I could tell people how to do it. But the easiest way I can explain it is, what if somebody gave you this jigsaw puzzle and told you to put it together? Just imagine all of these components of your trading, all of the classes that you took, the strategies that you learned, everything that you learned, and just spread it all out, just like these jigsaw pieces. How are you going to know how to put it together if you don't have a picture? Every jigsaw puzzle has a picture on the box. You see the end result. You see what success looks like. And trading is no different. You need to see what success looks like. I remember the frustrations I had when I was learning how to trade. I wanted so bad to be able to watch somebody go in, to listen to somebody thinking out loud, going through their progressions, and just taking the trade. And I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it anywhere. I had to suffer through it and do it myself. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. You know, yeah, I can tell you when this happens, do this. When that happens, do that. Just like I can give you this puzzle and tell you, okay, just start from the edges. Find the corner pieces, find the end pieces. Let's put the outside frame together. Then let's find all the pieces that match and kind of put them together. All of the, you know, the color schemes and stuff. And then we start building from there. But how long do you think it's going to take? And how many people will finish a jigsaw puzzle if they just, somebody just threw all of the pieces, 1,000 pieces on the ground and told them to have at it? No, not many people are going to finish it. So in order for you to be able to put the puzzle together, you have to see what success looks like. You have to see what the puzzle looks like finished. And then you can have a good visual and you have the best opportunity of, you know, succeeding. And that's why I do it. You know, I want to be a model. Now, are there other ways to trade outside of what I do? Yeah. You know, you can trade penny stocks. You can trade, you know, whatever. But I'm just sharing what I do. Just like the day trading classes and the swing trading classes, I'm sharing what I do. You know, I'm not pulling stuff and regurgitating stuff and then teaching things that I don't even use. I don't waste your time that way. So it's very important to me that I'm able to demonstrate what success looks like. And success doesn't have to be a winning trade. We're going to have losing trades. We're going to have losing days. But how do you handle those things? How do you come back? You know, sometimes I may be a little childish in, you know, being mad because the trade didn't work out, but that's reality. You know, I get over it, I move on, and we keep on kicking. You know, those are the type things that, you know, I want to model. And to prove that you can start with, you know, $1,500, $1,800 in a Sure Trader account, and you can grow it. You know, I've got people that try to put their limitations on me all the time. You know, saying, why am I doing that? Sure Trader must be paying me or whatever. No. You see my struggle. You see my plight. At the beginning of April, I couldn't get out of my own way. You know, but you saw me work through it. You saw me make the adjustments. And now, you know, we're growing. We're going to continue to grow. So I want to model that. And I want you to see firsthand what it takes and that it is possible. So I hope that answered everybody's question from this week that asked me that. All right, so today, only traded one stock and went both ways on it. Starting to get that groove back. That's what we got to do, you know, going forward. You know, I've got the lock in and focus. There are going to be opportunities to trade long and short. The same stock, you can do it all day. BBY just didn't move as much as I would have liked it to, but it did give me enough opportunities. But I didn't get through the day without having a mouse malfunction too, as well. I got about $25 in excess commissions, which I know Sure Trader loves, because accidental mouse clicks. You know, I'm trying to put in my stop, and this thing is at stop, but when I go to click the button, it rotates up, and it's at it's at market, and it immediately takes me out of the position. So I got to get back in. It's crazy. So I'm getting rid of that mouse. I'm gonna finally unplug it. And like I say, it's my fault for continuing to do it. Use it. So first trade wasn't really a opening range breakdown because we pulled all the way back to VWAP and the 20 here. So once I felt that we were coming in, I wasn't going to jump in on this candle. I waited until we got the confirmed loss of this level. And at that point, this was a daily level here, the 71.11. I wasn't going to take it here. I was going to take it off here at the opening range low. But this thing had so much trouble fading this level that it just forced me to take it. And I ended up taking some off here at 71.09. And then I ended up taking 50 more shares off right here at 70.75. And we didn't get the fade that I wanted to, so I ended up taking some off back here right around my first cover, for a profit stop. And damn if it didn't turn around and started to sell off. So I ended up getting short here, and accidentally I'm putting in my stop order. I waited for this candle to close. This candle was printing. I'm getting ready to put in my stop loss and accidentally exited position. So I ended up getting back in and added up here when we pulled back, because I only got in 100 shares. That's where it got messed up again. And then I added back to get in full size, which it worked out pretty good. But I had like 3 extra clicks right here and was able to take profit down through here, and this popped up and took me back out just before break even. And so I waited later in the day. Here's what I saw, and this is what a lot of people make mistakes on. We've been shorting this all day, and now we fail. You get a lot of people that jump back short. And I used to do this. I used to get short. But look what happened. We made a higher high. And if you waited for the pullback, it never did. And this is why I like, and I always tell people, if you're going to catch the break, wait for this to close. And then when this candle breaks the low, that's when you get in. If it never breaks the low, it's going to turn around. And you just made a higher low. And that's exactly what happened here. We made a higher low, put in a higher high. And in my mind, we're going to buy the next pullback. If it makes a higher low, we're buying the next pullback because we're coming to VWAP. And that's exactly what happened. I got it here. We made a nice move up. I caught it halfway to VWAP. I had my order at 71.05. It hit 71.04 and slammed back down and stopped me out at break even on the rest. And so when it started to turn around, we put in another higher low. I got back in, and unfortunately my chart wasn't right. I thought for some reason the chart on my card, the laptop that I take with me, it looked like the VWAP was right here. And so I took some off here, but when I get home I realized I wasn't anywhere near the VWAP. Here's where I should have got out. But it's hard, you know, when you have to pull over and set your targets, or if you're kind of glancing at it, I got to pull over and get out. It's a little crazy, but you know, it worked out. It did exactly what I wanted it to. I just couldn't manage it. And there's only 5 days left in the school year. So once that's done, I won't have to leave the house. And I can trade the last hour. Because in the summertime, the first 30 minutes or the first hour of the day and the last hour of the day, you typically see some pretty decent moves. So I want to make sure I'm there for both of those. But 168.83 today, we are, like I said, we're rolling right along. We got an okay week going this week. For it being as slow as it is, we got an okay week going. Tomorrow, it's going to be the same focus. Keeping things tight and not giving anything back. You know, we want to lock in our profits, add to our account. You know, won't be long. We'll be knocking that $4,000 range. You know, we're knocking at the door for $4 grand. I really believe by the end of this quarter, we'll have it up to 5K. And then we'll increase our position size a little bit. You know, not much, because, you know, every time we move, we got to increase, you know, a little bit at a time. So, you know, we'll increase it a little bit. See if we can increase our profits and just keep growing from there. You know, this is a process. I'm not doing this and then abandoning you guys. We're going to continue to do this. And, you know, if you want to be a part of it, you know, come in. But you got to be willing to put in the work. You know, I got a lot of people that came in and left. They weren't ready. They weren't willing to put in the work. They wanted somebody to give them something, and that's not what I'm about. So that's it for me today. We'll come back tomorrow, try to put it a nice end to the week. Get ready for this long 4-day weekend. I'm definitely gonna enjoy it. So you won't hear anything out of me this weekend. After tomorrow, you'll hear from me Tuesday, and that's gonna be it. You know, maybe post something on Twitter. I don't know. You'll probably be posting some pictures there, but you know, other than that, you guys have a great night, and I'll see you first thing in the morning.